Alright, so the start of round 2, Germany, there are the purchases that will be made for this round, subject to change if needed be by the time we get down to the end here. Who knows what might transpire, although I think we'll probably be pretty good for this turn. Widen that out so we can get in what Germany's going to do here. Alright, so I do need to come down just a hair. I'm not going to attack Russia this turn. I was thinking about it, but I didn't. I'm going to go... one of the other things I wanted to do was to bomb London into oblivion, but I need to come down here and get these French ships and that British transport. Still going to hit London though, so we'll get some AA rolls in there and see what happens. But I'm going to send that sub and 2 bombers down here to hopefully clean that up. This other bomber will come over here and hit this factory. And we're going to send 2 Stukas, one to hit the air base, one to hit the naval base. And the fighter just in case, so that Britain doesn't send up to intercept. They only have 2 planes left there, so there's not a lot of intercepting going to be going on, I don't think. We're not hitting Russia. Really the only other thing we've got here is Greece. So we'll come in with these guys and we're going to send down a fighter and a tactical, and they'll have 2 movement left. And that should be able to get rid of those 4 guys, I'm hoping. Don't know why it wouldn't be. I want to attack Russia next turn, so I don't want to send any more tanks down there into Greece and get out of position. And that's pretty much it. Some strategic bombing, a naval battle, and a battle in Greece. And then we're going to move those subs into some convoy zones. So, I forgot to flip my viewing panel around to see what's in the picture here, because that dice tray looks like it might be a little out of the frame. Can move it down a little. Alright, so strategic bombing first. No interceptor because it would be 4 on 2 in favor of the Axis. So we'll do an anti-aircraft shot against the bomber. Damn it. There's a kill. Anti-aircraft against the airfield Stuka and the naval base Stuka. So no effects there. We did get a kill, and that's one of the reasons why strategic bombing kind of stinks, but it's the risk you take. So let's roll the airfield 3. Thank you. The naval base 5. So I will put the damage out on that. 3 on the airfield. And if I was doing a sea lion, this would definitely be something I would be hitting on the build-up turn. But I'm not really. I was just kind of doing it for the anti-aircraft purposes. I was hoping for a damage, but unfortunately there was a kill there. Alright, so down on the French ships, we got a submarine at 2 and 2 bombers at 4. Oh man, this has been not a good turn. Alright, a 2 and a 3 back, of course. I don't particularly want to lose another bomber. We'll go one more round here. 1 hit, doggone it. Okay, nothing there. Alright, so now the question is, the destroyer's out of there. We probably should press on to get rid of those ships. 1 hit. Well, we barely got what was necessary there. And there's a hit there. No? Yeah. So those 2, another bomber. So that was painful. Germany really suffered on that round. Now I'm starting to questioning Greece there. with 4 5-1s. We got a tank at 3, a fighter at 3, and a Stuka at 4 with the combined arms. 1, 2, 3. So 3 of the 4 are gone. And oh my gosh. Sometimes it just doesn't pay. 1. That's all I needed was that last one. Oh, for crying out loud. So the Greeks got 4 hits out of their 4 guys. Definitely this turn was not in Germany's favor at all. Alright, so they'll go up 3, but they lost a ton of units. I'm not happy about that. So we'll land over here at this air base in Rome. This bomber comes back, lands in Normandy along with the 2 Stukas and fighter that was there. Alright, we get another convoy because we're going to come out here and convoy these big ones. Because what we're going to do with the middle convoy is it's going to convoy both sides. But you know what? That's still not as much as this one. So I think 1's going to go down there. Because that would be 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it'll only be 5 here where you could get 6 here. And let's go over to that one then. Because I know Britain's going to build some destroyers and place them there. Alright, so the next we're just going to move all these guys forward. We've got 2 transports here. We're going to grab these 2 guys. We're going to come out here. And we've got 2 fighters and 2 Stukas there for defense. We're going to grab these 2 artillery. Well, you know what? Let's just make it 3 guys in an artillery going up to Norway. Because we're going to push all this forward and a stack of tanks driving into Yugoslavia with those mech. We're going to leave those guys where they're at. Although, you know what? We're going to press down just in case. And we'll see what the Russians do with their setup. Alright, we got 1 tank coming back into Germany. And that will pretty much be it for the German move. We're going to place a sub and a destroyer. Because we want to get a destroyer up into this convoy to take away that objective from Russia. Alright, we're going to put... I thought we'd put a guy over there, but I don't think we need to. We'll put a bomber. Because we got 3 planes, the bomber and an artillery. They really only have 2 planes that can hit it with maybe that bomber, but that doesn't seem like a wise choice. But I did buy an anti-aircraft gun so that we've got 2 deep on the coast here for when Britain tries to, and the US tries to do some strategic bombing, which I'm going to force them to do so that we can show that aspect. And I will split these guys up amongst the big factory in those 2 locations. And there we go. We'll probably buy a factory for Germany next turn and put it a little closer to Russia. Alright, so they're going to lose their 20 that they got from France. However, they are sitting on 52 and 10 in objectives, so that'd be $62 for Germany on turn 2. Now, Russia not being at war and not going to attack Japan, I will move this. Swing this over here. Alright, so up in the north, we're just going to keep marching. Although, I think we'll leave just a little bit back, just because I know Japan's going to attack Russia this turn. That's the downside of playing yourself. You know what's coming. But I'm going to need those back here, I think, just because. Alright, so we're going to leave. Well, we know there is a tank, that Italian tank, that can hit either one of those for a can opener, but so we'll move the Baltic guy back. We'll bring in, and we're going to slide them up so that there's some flexibility here. Fly this plane. I don't know that I need all four up here, but I got an air base so they can get a little further if I need be. We'll slide them in and them up, so I'll ship that out later. The anti-aircraft guns, we're going to spread those out in front of Stalingrad. And we'll go ahead and place our units. We're going to place, let's see, we got a tank. We're going to put a tank and a man and an artillery down south. And we are going to do 2 men and an artillery up north. We're going to put another 5 in Moscow. Guy in a tank down south. Russian money does not change. On to Japan. And I think they're going to attack Russia this turn, but they will not attack US or Britain. So let me get this set where China and Russia is in the picture frame here. Alright. So let's do our attacks. We're going to hit the freebie, of course. We probably should hit that, and we're going to hit Yunnan. Uh-oh, got one without a sticker on it. We're going to go ahead and hit those. So that's going to bring Mongolia in at the end of the round. And we have plenty of planes to hammer these 6 Chinese guys there, so it's not going to be good for them. We're going to come down here, come in there with 1. We're going to send all 4 there. So let's send up 2 planes for there. We're going to send all that. I'm going to keep, I wonder if I should, because I'm going to send down a transport here, so next turn I can span out to some islands. Oh, but you know, I got these guys here, so never mind. They're going to all come in. So it's just going to be a party in Yunnan there. So let's take the 2 bombers just to make sure, and all those planes. What is that? That is 2 tacticals. We'll bring in the tactical off the carrier, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be 6 fighters. That ought to be enough to get the job done. In Russia, we are just going to send everybody but 1 tank. We got 1 transport coming up here with 2 guys. I got these 4 planes here. They don't really need to use up here. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but overkill, I guess. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, so once again, I didn't flip my screen around to see where I can put this dice tray. It looks like I can put it right up there. So, first battle, I'm just going to do the 2 tacticals that are boosted, so that guy's gone, and the Russian, of course, there's a hit. Alright. Thanks for your participation. Alright, freebie, freebie. Down here, I got 2 bombers and a tactical for 3 hits. Chinese, that one is a miss. Alright, Yunnan, the big battle. Let's go with the planes first. I need 1 more blue here. Nope, 2 blues. Alright, so here's all the planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 hits there. I've got 3, 4 artilleries. So that will be 8 total 2s to get that last. Oh, that's all I got was that last guy. Alright, so China fires back with 6. They got 3. Damn. Not a good turn for the attackers right now. Alright, so all 6 go, and 3 Japan. Alright, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 from China, and 3 from Russia. So Japan will go up 7. Russia now goes down 4. And then China goes down another 4. So China is starting to feel the pressure. And the planes go back to the carrier. All these planes will go there. We got all that in Yunnan, those 2, that guy. We're going to move up these 3. We're going to leave 1 behind. And we're going to move 2 guys and artillery in there. We're going to leave that guy. We're going to come down here with 2 guys. And then we're going to take the fleet with a guy in artillery down to the Caroline Islands. So we got some options on where we can go. We're going to leave, I didn't buy any destroyers, we'll leave 1 destroyer back in case we want to do some blocking on the following turn. Alright, and then these will go 2 spaces and land in J-hole. So they'll have some options where they can go on the next turn. Alright, pretty much easy for Japan. I've got a factory here for 3 armor, 2 transports. I probably should have bought another artillery, but I used all my money to get the guys, so it is what it is. And Japan's money, they are up to 48 on the tracker with a 10 bonus for not being at war with the US. So that will be a 58. And you think that's pretty good, but Britain's sitting at 47 and US at 65. So I think the Allies still have the advantage there. And I'm going to pause this video so that it doesn't automatically end on me like the first round. And then we'll start up with the Chinese. You know what? Might as well just do the Chinese since I'm sitting here. Because honestly, there's no way those 4 guys are going to take out all that in Yunnan. So we'll send 2 here with a Flying Tiger. So that's 2 1s and a 3. 1 hit. 2 back. Hit. Alright, so that was it for China. They lost a man, but they gained $1. Doesn't seem quite worth it. Alright. So the plane now has to hide even further, because if I go here, yeah, they can still survive there. Alright. I think we'll put 2 down there. We might as well back up. Kind of hide out there in the corner. And that will be it for China. They saved $2, but they only get 5 this time. Oh, well, they'll get 6. They went up 1. So that gives them $8 for next turn. China's hurting. Alright, now we'll pause and move on to Britain here when I get that set up. Okay, I know I said Britain, but I meant the US. I did China first while they were in the viewfinder over there. And then, of course, I went right on to Britain because that's how they follow in the turn order, but I didn't want to skip US. But not a lot happening with the US. They're just going to switch transports for now. There is a large force. Japan, they could hit Pearl Harbor there, but I don't want to put all of my ships there. But at the same time, well, you know what? We can bring that because there's nothing to block there. I suppose I could fan these out to block. And I might as well do that, and we'll bring this sub into there. No need risking anything that's going on, and then I'll put my purchases out on this side, which is a transport destroyer and a fighter. And from central US, I'll walk 2 guys over for that transport. And honestly, on the other side of the map, there is nothing to move there. So I will put those out and my buy out on this east side. That was probably pretty fast. And you have to remember it's a minor, so I can only put 3 at each location. So we're going to put the 2 transports up there where those guys are in that fighter. And then we'll put those in central with that destroyer. Alright, so on to Britain. US money doesn't change. Not at war or anything. So really Britain, because they got some action down here in Africa. Let's set that over here. We'll take care of Africa first, because we're going to send the 2 artillery into that, and then that mech is going to go in there. It cannot blitz because there is no tank. So that is the 2 battles there. And in the med there will be no battles. The bomber will head up and bomb this French factory, and we'll see what happens with that factory there in southern France. Let me roll. Alright, so they get the 1 Italian, and the Italian gets 1 back. So Italy will lose, Britain will gain $1. Nope. To lose, you got to go backwards. All right. So now up here in southern France, we're going to have an anti-aircraft roll. Let's see what that's a 3, so that failed. So, oh, max damage. Italians really can't afford to fix that. So they probably won't for a while. So that was really the only attack on the north side. So there's an air base at Malta, which is helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they got 3 left. So they're going to go over here to this air base on Gibraltar, which is also helpful. And we're going to bug out of Malta with these planes, and this cruiser is going to head into the Red Sea. We're not going to do any movements here. We'll slide those guys up. Eventually I'll get a transport over there. I had to get the destroyers first to deal with some subs. And down here in the southern part of Africa here, we're basically just going to march, and they're going to drive up. We're going to pull these 2 transports here so they can grab this next turn, these 2 guys. You know what, let's bring a tank over here so that they can grab 2 guys, a tank, and an artillery, because they're marching into Persia, and then next turn they're going to hit Iraq. Take that out of the action. So Britain goes up 3 for Persia. So they're 45 on the board with their bonus. That's going to be $50. That is a ton of money for Britain. Alright, so we'll, just for protection, I mean, there's nothing, I don't see anything, but you never know. And on the other side of the world, oh, I went too far. India, no action there. However, grab a marker because I will take this down here along with 2 guys, which have to break that chip up. Put 4 there and 2 guys. So now they are up to 27, and I'm pretty sure Japan will rectify some of that next turn. I think there's no real threat right now immediately on these units, so for the battle in Iraq next turn, I'm going to move that fighter and that tactical over to help, and then they can come back in plenty of time before Japan gets in there, I think. So that is it for them. Let me grab their buy and put it on the board. 6 more dudes and an artillery. Oh, I forgot we're going to move this anti-aircraft up so that if Japan does some strategic bombing, they'll be flying over that, get another extra anti-aircraft roll. And on, I might as well move the camera for the British placement because Italy's coming up next. So we'll try and put it back here where we can see all that Italy might do. Alright, so the 2 destroyers I'm going to put on the Canada side, just because if I put them there in London, there is a mess of planes and subs that can hit that. So I'm going to add another fighter to London along with another 3 guys, and I think I'll be good with defending London, even though I know I'm not going to hit it right now. I think if I was still going to continue to hit it, I would have needed to buy some transports that last turn. And then I'll put 2 tanks down in South Africa. So I think Britain's looking real good in this game. And it is now Italy's turn. What will Italy do? Well, if I didn't know that Britain was going to hit Iraq, I might send the transport over to Syria so I could walk on there the next turn, but there won't be anything to walk on this next turn because Britain's going to be hitting that. So we'll try and clear these guys out for sure. We'll send a bomber over. The bomber will have 3 to get back. And I can move into the Bessivaria and get that for Italy, but honestly, I don't really see a benefit there. Although it does give me the option of landing some fighters in there, so I will give that a run. Planes are out of the med, so I can bring this fighter maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would have to land in Romania. We'll do that. That'll give 2 3s on that 2. The way the Axis have been rolling so far, it hasn't been too exciting. Alright, so I could take Cyprus, which is risking a transport because the British can come out with a ship and kill it, but it takes away their bonus. But really, I got to give up $7 to do it. If I go to Malta, these 3 planes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they could land. So there just isn't enough. But I can put some German planes in there. All right, so let's do that. Since there's an air base on Malta, Italy is going to attack Malta. Let's see, I'll have to pull this and 1 guy. So now I'm thinking maybe I'll use this plane down here instead to make sure I get Malta. That way I can land some German planes on there on that air base and give some air cover to that. That seems like a better plan. All right. And once again, I forgot to flip the screen over so I can see what's in the view. That's mostly in. Alright, so in, well, I guess we do the amphib first. There is a anti-aircraft gun, 2, so that is a damage, so he'll have to land to the closest land zone, so he can't come back, so he'll have to land over here. He is out of the battle. So I have 2 2s for the artillery and infantry and a bombardment of a 3. 1 hit. So we'll lose that anti-aircraft gun. Britain fires back, of course. Now it's the first 1 to 2. Italy hits. Oh, Britain doesn't. Alright, so that panned out for Italy. I'm going to go grab a marker here. See what happens there. Alright, so that takes away their bonus, and then I'll be able to get some German planes there to hopefully help that scramble. Although I see that the Britons can bring a cruiser in there as well. Well, it is what it is. Alright, in France, I got a 2, a 3, and a 4 for Italy. 2 hits. And Italy has, or France has 2 infantry. 1 hit back. So that is gone. And they declared war on Russia first for a can opener. Let's see how that battle goes. So the 3 is the tank. Nobody hit. Nobody hit again. Oh, oh crap. It just doesn't pay to be the Axis in this game. Alright. Well, it might be a shorter game than one anticipated. Bomber flies back. So Italy goes up 2. And we'll go ahead and place out their stuff. Oh, yeah, I did want to move these Italians up and this tank over. And we'll move that into there. We'll leave one there. We will place our 2 ships. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have multiple scramble zones for the Germans to cover Italy. Okay. Nice. So that might have been a slight mistake there. All right, 2 up. France is already out, so Britain goes down. All right, so that gives Italy 23, and they do have a bonus for having no ships in the mid, so that'll be 28. So they need a 5. And I did forget to give UK Pacific the 4 for taking Sumatra. And I think 20, yeah, what do they say, 50. There's 30, so they need their 5 for their bonus. Alright, so they're good. That leaves Anzac, and they are not attacking because, well, you know what? They could declare war, and I think they will, so they can get their national objectives here. So that'll be good for them. Let's turn it over here. Alright, so you can see they've got Java right now. And there's an not an air base, a naval base. So they're going to come here, 1, grab these 2 guys, 2, 3, grab Celebes. And this transport will come up here so they get their bonus. So they grab 2 more territories. They declare war on Japan because it's probably a good idea, even if you didn't know if Japan was going to attack or not. So that's 4 more up. So that puts them at 21. They get 5 for their original territories. And then they also have the Malaya is still Allied controlled. And they have their island grouping. Now the Dutch East Indies is under the Anzac control. And the French, really all they're going to do, let's move this guy. And we'll just sit with that for now. Alright, that is the end of turn